First of all, what I think I'll say is, of course, babies will have a so-called primary caregiver. So the person who most is engaged in their care, with whom they need to develop a really strong attachment. And very often, for many different reasons, that person is the mother or the birthing person. But of course, the partner will be very much involved. So what I always recommend is that it's important to think of it as much as possible as teamwork. And that means that both team players will need their action time and their rest time. They both find a way to support and help each other in this task. What partners can do specifically is to make sure that they help the person who is mommy, for lack of a better word, to create a balance for herself and for or himself and their baby, in terms of time that they also find for themselves. And the other thing that's very important is that the partner also remember that they too will need their rest and downtime. It's actually quite common for a lot of partners who are in the father position to think that because they're not the one who went through the pregnancy or the delivery and is not doing the majority of the baby care, that they are not entitled to their own tiredness and their own needs, and they need to focus exclusively on the welfare of their baby and their partner. And it's very understandable, but it's also perhaps not entirely right, because then the risk is that they themselves will burn out, and they too need to build a relationship with their baby and enjoy this unique time. And it can happen a lot to fathers also, because having a baby is such a big change that even though people may well, they know, of course, that a baby's on the way, when the baby actually arrives, it can feel like a surprise. Like people often say, I knew that I was going to have a baby, but when the baby came, it still really struck me as, oh wow. So there's so much emotion that it's important for partners as well to think about what this all means to them, for themselves. The other important thing for partners to remember is the high rate of postnatal depression, which is a common complication of pregnancy, very much so in women, but sometimes also in men and fathers, and how one of the crucial key players in this is sleep, and how important it is to try one's best to get some sleep, which is not straightforward when there's a new baby, because their sleep is really fragmented. But equally, couples can do a lot to help each other in that respect, and take the opportunity to sleep perhaps when the baby sleeps, or take turns in looking after the baby, so that they each get some solid hours of rest. Also allowing your partner to talk about their feelings, which can sometimes be very painful to talk about, but also to listen to, is something that a lot of people who have postnatal depression recognize as extremely valuable and helpful and supportive.